Bam. Greet you in the words of Assalamu alaikum, which means peace and blessings be upon you. And I mention both Jesus and Muhammad's names. Peace be upon them both because they were both messengers of truth and reality. And hey, you got to get a ticket to get on this train, okay? So we get ready to go on a ride and we get ready to go through the theology of time, okay? And my co-host today is Alderman Virgil Jones. Shalom.
Well, I'm always happy to be with you, and I'm happy to be on
Yes,
here
sir.
with a brilliant brother and brother James Muhammad.
Brother
All
John.
right? And
Yes, sir.
And he's brilliant because taught by one of the greatest men that ever was
Yes,
the
sir.
Honorable Elijah
Yes,
Muhammad.
sir. And you have Brother John Muhammad, theology of time. And I almost said the name like Islam like. And I want to thank you for accepting the invitation to come on the show. This will be posted on YouTube. He's on my website on YouTube. And plus you can see his face every single week on the show at the introduction. Thank you. You know what? So tell us something about yourself. Please.
Well, I would like to say, first of all, thank Almighty God, Allah, for blessing me to be here, who came in the person of Master Farad Muhammad,
Yes, sir.
to whom praise is due forever, for raising up among our people the Honorable Elijah Muhammad as a leader and teacher to the so-called American Negro. Myself, Islam, I ran across it in the early 50s in Detroit, but I
Yes,
was
sir.
not yet ready to reclaim my own at that time because I was a man of the world. And so another year passed and I came into Islam. My life changed
Yes.
when I were dead, mentally dead in the streets.
Yes, sir.
Went in the Army, spent time in the Army, and when I got a discharge, honorable discharge,
Yes.
the man wanted me to re-up, and I said, no, I can't do
Yes,
that.
sir.
And so I came out of the Army, and shortly after I came out of the Army, I ran into Islam in Hartford, Connecticut,
Okay.
with Malcolm X.
Yes.
And with Malcolm and other ministers and brothers. In those days, the nation wasn't that large. And Malcolm, we built the East Coast up. We jumped over and went to the West Coast, built
Yes,
the West
sir.
Coast up. And the rest of it is all history of building
Yes.
the nation.
Yes, sir. Go ahead, get a question.
Well, I tell you, one of the greatest things of all is how the teachings of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad has taken men that no one else could reform,
That's right.
cleaned them up,
That's right.
stood them up, and had them to be a positive force in the community. And my question to you is, I remember years ago, members of the Nation of Islam used to go out in the street fishing.
Yes.
You know what that means.
Oh, yes.
And I don't see too much of that anymore.
Yeah, well, there's a lot of people that I teach the Honorable Elijah Muhammad's teaching, and we encourage. That's the objective of Islam and the purpose of God coming and raising up the Honorable Elijah Muhammad is to propagate the faith. And when you are not one who propagating the faith, then you're not doing your job as a civilized man.
Yes, sir.
Once you become civilized and your people are not yet civilized, then your job is to propagate the faith and try and get all that you can to believe in Allah and His Messenger.
Yes, sir.
That is going on, but not by all who say and claim they are Muslims. There are a lot of people who say that they are Muslim, but they are not. If they are not doing what they were taught, then they are not doing the job of that. And the Holy Quran tells us there are those who call lip professors.
Yes.
But the heart is a disease, so they don't go out to the people anymore. But we stress to our people, especially FOI,
Yes.
to go out in the street and fish and bring the people to the temple, because that's a place to clean them up. That's a place to get them ready to meet God. That they must bring them in, not teach them in the street, but bring them to the temple so that they can be taught properly.
Yes.
But a lot of people don't do that. And if our people as Muslims were to do that, a lot of what is happening now in the streets wouldn't happen.
Yes.
Because in the days of yesterday, it was rough, wasn't as rough as it is now, but you didn't have the kind of murder, the kind of knocking down old ladies, old men, stealing, because the brother was out there with the paper that was out there in the street being shown, whether it was a paper or selling a book, or just out walking, trying to make conversation with the people at large. If they were to go back to the blueprint,
Yes.
a lot of the things that's happening in the community, we wouldn't see it. But because they have become bourgeois Muslims, see, the time now is that the end is here. So naturally, the enemy are going to feed into the mindset.
Yeah.
See, the new thought in the black community is that we have arrived.
Yes.
And but we haven't arrived. Though you may be on a train and the train is making 90 miles an hour, but you're still in the caboose.
Yes.
So that don't say that you are first class anymore. You're not, have never been first class. But our people as a whole, if they want to grab on to truth, and we're living in the time of truth.
Yes.
We're living in the time of the manifestation of truth. And our people as a whole have never known the truth. So therefore, they're looking for something else.
Yes.
When truth is right, that's all you need.
Yes.
And Jesus said the truth will set you free if you understand what freedom is.
Let me correct